Hey guys, yours truly, Kevin Grace. I am here in Baltimore, my hometown. Behind me is a childhood home of the great Cab Calloway and his sister Blanche. I'm at 2216 Drew Hill Avenue. Now, this house where he lived, I believe he was about 4 years old and he left when he was about 10. But this is where he grew up, so there is some history here. Unfortunately, it's slated for demolition. Now, there over the past couple of years have been some articles talking about it was going to be knocked down and then a park put here, and some of the bricks from the house used in that construction of the park. But some people are hoping that the house can be saved because, again, it's history. Once you knock it down like they did the Royal Theater, there's nothing you can do afterwards. Some people are hoping that maybe a museum can be built on this property, maybe save the facade of this building and add some other things and make a jazz museum out of it, because there have been some great jazz musicians that come through Baltimore, whether it be Billie Holiday or the great drummer Mr. Webb, and of course Cab Calloway, and there's some other folks as well that I'm probably forgetting about. But anyway, when I did my vlog a few months ago, this fencing was not here, and I'm hearing that maybe the house is saved. I'm not sure, but there are yellow demolition signs on the other houses saying that slated for destruction, but on this particular house it's not. So I'm not sure if it's going to be you know, the facade can be saved. But a lot of these houses here, the roofs have collapsed and water damage has come through and has messed up the interior of the houses, or you have tree branches growing through the bricks. So once that happens, it's hard to save these houses. And like I said, the brick, these are old school, so they're very well made. But once you have those things happening, whether it be water damage and vegetation growing in your home, not much you can do. But who knows? Unfortunately, the houses across the street over there are probably in better shape, and I see there's a company rehabbing them and hoping to sell them. Matter of fact, there have been a lot of people from DC that come up to this area, whether it be Bolton Hill or Butcher Hill, and buy these homes, because these homes would go for a lot more in places like Washington, DC. So here's the houses across the street, but and like I said, they're in better shape. But anyway, this is Cab Calloway's childhood home, and like I said, these are different notices up here saying notice of demolition. So this is the place next to it, but on this particular structure there is not that same sign, so maybe that's a good sign. But anyway, somebody left this on the ground here saying that you know, this Blanche and Cab Calloway's home, 2216 Drew Hill Avenue, and somebody put a sign up here as well. But like I said, this is history, and I at least wanted to share it with you if this place gets knocked down. So it is remembered anyway. If you like this video, please subscribe down below and click that red button, and feel free to leave any comments about Cab Calloway or about the house, and maybe a future jazz park or jazz museum, who knows, here in Baltimore. And like I said, we're just a block down from North Avenue if you want to come and visit this while the structure is still standing.
Cab Calloway is a jazz legend, the first African-American to sell 1 million records with a single song.
Really, he is the grandfather of hip-hop and the rap movements that we see today, because he came from this type of environment and sang about this type of environment and made a living doing it.
Calloway grew up in Baltimore in the 1920s and lived for several years in this now vacant row home on Druid Hill Avenue. His grandson, Peter, is trying to save it from being demolished along with the rest of the block.
The significance of it is that the characters that Cab Calloway made a living singing about, Minnie the Moocher, Smokey Joe, the Reefer Man, they all come from this neighborhood.
The Druid Heights Community Development Corporation says the plan, several years in the making, is to build a 3-acre park on the land named after Cab Calloway. The community came up with the plan, but when in April historians confirmed Calloway lived in the home, some changed their minds. Now they would like to see it restored and preserved.
There's a wonderful history here, and it all has to do with really with civil rights, African American civil rights. And it's been hidden, and there's not much to remember people around here.
Calloway's family says this could become Baltimore's Graceland, just around the corner from the proposed Black Arts and Entertainment District.
I actually would like to see this become the Nashville for urban music. I mean, I would like to see a production center rather than a museum like the Babe Ruth or the Cal Ripken. It's something where people are making things and getting things done.
The City Housing Department says there are no immediate plans to demolish this block and says there's plenty of time to discuss new information and any new concerns being raised about this block. Reporting live in West Baltimore, Kim Day, CWBAL TV 11.
Hey guys, yours truly, Kevin Grace, reporting to you from Drew Hill Avenue, actually the backside of it. 2216 was the address of Cab Calloway's childhood home. And as I mentioned, some of the houses are slated for demolition. So I'm not sure if they're turning it into a jazz museum or it's just going to be a park as they were initially stating. But his home did not have a sign up saying slated for demolition. But as you can see, some of the houses here have been knocked down the back way. So they didn't bulldoze them down totally. So I'm not sure if they're going to keep the facade up or exactly what. So as you can see, it's a lot different here. And you can see all the bricks here being knocked down. So I think maybe it's going to be maybe a museum. So like I said, if they were going to knock these houses down, they would have wiped them down with one swoosh. But looks like they're knocking them down slowly. But yeah, so anyway, just wanted to let you know and share this with you. I think his house would be the one that's right over here that's not knocked down. So anyway, I was here a few months ago and I do have video. You can see that as well of what the houses look like. But yeah, this is what the back of the houses look like, as you can see this here. But hopefully the houses won't be all knocked down but turned into a museum. Anyway, if you like this video, please click down below and feel free to leave a comment. Hey guys, yours truly, Kevin Grace. I'm here in my hometown of Baltimore. Today is September the 7th, 2020. Just 3 days ago, September the 4th, I was here on this spot. I wasn't even supposed to have been here, but ironically, I just happened to be passing by, and I'm glad I did. I was able to document the last time of seeing the Cab Calloway home that he and his sister lived when he was 6 years old to about 10. I'd done an earlier vlog a couple of months ago, but you know, there was talk about knocking down the house and maybe see if they could kind of save it, turn it into a jazz museum. And when I came through, you know, on Friday, this fencing was up, and they had signs up that the houses were slated for demolition. But I was thinking, you know, but they didn't have one on Cab's house, so I was thinking maybe they were going to try to keep the facade up with that one, knock down the other ones, and then maybe make a jazz museum with the space of the other houses. But evidently that wasn't the case. On Saturday, everything got bulldozed, and the Baltimore Sun did a story about it, and I decided to come by. Today's Labor Day, September the 7th. This is what Cab Calloway's house is left in a pile of rubble. This is Cab Calloway's house right here, and you can see the bulldozer. The last thing they did, looks like that's the last thing they did, was to knock that down, and it's resting right there. So what I will do is grab a couple of bricks for some friends, and just the memories now. So again, Baltimore history gone, but I'm glad I was able to document it with you all and share it with you. But yeah, these are, as you can see, the houses, everything knocked down. So, and like I said, we're a block right down from North Avenue there, and here it is. This was the former residence of Cab Calloway, 2216, and Right across the street is 2215. But yeah, it was right here. It was Cab Calloway's home. So I'll dig through. I see a couple of bricks that have that green painting on it, so I'll try to grab a couple of those, but it's sad. Anyway, if you like this video, please subscribe down below, click that red button, and feel free to leave any comments as well. But this was 2216 Cab Calloway's childhood home with his sister Blanche.
The home of jazz musician Cab Calloway is no longer standing in West Baltimore. This is because the city demolished the house on Druid Hill Avenue today. After a long battle with the Calloway family, the family wanted to preserve the home as a historical spot. Well, Calloway was a former stable boy at Pimlico before breaking into the music business in the 1920s. But the building he once lived in was deemed structurally unsound. The city chose to move forward with demolition and plans to redevelop the area.